Welcome back, everybody. It's TVG2 here on a Friday. Peter Lurie with you. If you want to get involved with the program, at Peter Lurie VO. That's the Twitter handle. Just have an opinion. If you got to pick, you got to give us a reason. I love the reasons that comes from my next guest when it comes to his handicapping expertise down in Lone Star State over at Lone Star Park. Track announcer Jim Byers. Jim, as always, a happy Friday, a fantastic Friday, I dare I say.
Yeah, it is. We've settled into kind of a summer weather pattern here. It's nice and hot, fast and firm for the weekend once again. And last weekend was less predictable than some of the racing weekends we've had here at Lone Star Park. It's been a good time lately for horse players shopping for a little bit of a price. So we'll see if that happens here this week.
I will say one thing, as far as your selections for Sunday, I know we're going to take a look at races 2 and 8. I look at the second race on the card, a mile 16th on the turf, and I look at a 2-1 favorite of the Kitten's Joy lineage by the name of Collateral Kitten. 2-1 on the line. I'm going to make a prediction. This horse goes odds on when it's all said and done. Do I sound like I'm being bold? I am.
Yeah, a little bit. Great Cat's coming in, having a tremendous year, a couple of wins, 3 seconds in 5 starts. He has been lined as a slight morning line favorite. You know, he's gotten really, really good of late. Collateral Kitten is one that generally fires a really nice effort. The problem in this race, really from a handicapping standpoint, is most of the top contenders, in fact all of them really, are off the pace types. This turf course tends to favor speed. Trying to isolate who might end up on the lead here. Kind of looks like it might be Bo T, but his turf exploits have not been all that great. So really, you know, when the whole field, all the contenders at least, look like they're all closers, it's not easy to necessarily pick out who you think will get the best trip and the best run in the first run at the lead. It should Bo T falter if, in fact, he is the leader. So a weird pace situation, a lot of closers. I'm looking to the outside there, and the Steve Asmussen runner Humor. And one of the reasons that, you know, the morning line is the way it is here is because Asmussen's horses pick up an awful lot of wagering, as do Carl Broberg, and he has Collateral Kitten. But Humor is blinkers off, and one thing in researching this race, Asmussen, for as many horses as he starts, doesn't pull the blinkers off horses all that often, just 20 times in the run of the daily racing form statistics. And he has a huge rate of return and a 35% win percentage when he takes the blinkers off. He's doing that with Humor. Humor, I think, is a little bit of a plotter. He's kind of a forwardly placed plotter, but I think he's got a chance if he responds to the equipment change to run well there on Sunday.
Just remember, when he goes off at 4-5, you're going to say, Peter was right. And I'm going to tell you right now, 2 horses we discussed in the beginning, it's going to be a Kitten's Joy Exacta. Let's talk about Danny Sorensen really quickly. Does the guy ever age? He keeps going. And as any trainer will tell you, if you really want to know what happened in the race and everybody else around you, just wait till Danny gets off his horse.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we talked about a horse last week named Ceremony, and most of her accomplishments had been going 2 turns. Danny Pish, the trainer, recently made her into a sprinter. She didn't run that well going 5/8 on the turf, but with Danny Sorensen aboard the other day, on Sunday, she circled the field and won very impressively. Sorensen had a great weekend last weekend, and tell you, he's tough to beat. You know, he doesn't get on, he doesn't get on the Broberg Asmussen horses here, and they win a huge percentage of the races relative to the other trainers. But I'll tell you what, he can still do a fine job.
I'm looking at this race number 8, and there's a lot of questions for me. 7 furlongs the distance. It's a Texas bred allowance race. Wally Peabody, 5-2 favorite for Richard Aramia. Originally, I was going to say that's just the way you got to go. This horse is a 1-for-12 type, 0-for-6, 3 seconds on the year. So even with Richard Aramia, I got to look otherwise at the one, Eyes on Red. Now, I know this horse has not been doing a lot, but I kind of like the win I saw going a mile. I'm thinking 7 furlongs looks good. Lightly raced. Last time out, I think, is a throw, and I don't think this horse wants any part of the turf. How say you?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Eyes on Red's a horse I had a little bit of a difficult time getting, kind of a handle on, just in terms of the quick turnaround. The horse just raced on back a week ago today on Friday as we do this on June 9th. He's coming right back and running again. And it's a quick turnaround, but actually, I guess the 9th was Saturday. But nonetheless, coming back very quickly in this spot. The only thing that concerns me a little about him is His one-turn form hasn't been great, but 7/8 is a unique distance, and it's one of those distances that horses tend to like or not like. He's a horse that I think has a big chance in here. I just wasn't really sure whether I liked him or not, if that makes any sense.
Jim,
the horse that's in – oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say to you real quickly here, the reason why I think, and I think every point you just brought up about that quick turnaround makes sense, but if you look at the running lines, it almost looks to me like the jock got off the horse, trainer goes, you know what? I don't think we really got anything out of it. It was just about the equivalent of having a gallop in the morning. So why not come back? I've always seen trainers, especially in Southern California, if you take that shot, sometimes you get an even better effort off the quick turnaround. You just got to know then you're backing off for 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, no, I agree. And we do see horses run back here rather quickly, and many of them do well. Some barns really specialize in it, such as the Broberg barn. And Terry Oaf, the trainer here, has had a really good meet this year. And, you know, I think that effort the other day on the turf was just kind of an even effort, and I think he will close better going 7/8 of a mile. I'm kind of intrigued by the horse on the outside, D.Y. Button. This horse was entered early in the meet, was fractious as a first-time starter, was taking a lot of wagering action and got scratched. Came back, was 8-1, ran a pretty good second, and then came back and broke his maiden. And it's going to be interesting to see if this horse can stretch out from a 5/8 turf sprint to 7/8 and win. You know, this bunch in here, you know, there's some horses in here, you know, that have halfway decent records, but you know, there's some ones stepping up a bit. Bold Capo stepping up in class, Jessica's Arch. There's horses in this race coming off winning efforts, 6 of the 9 coming off winning efforts, but some of them are stepping up. So it's going to be interesting to see how those horses rising up fair on Sunday.
Yeah, the speed to me is the bigger factor. It's just not a sprint. It's not a route. It's that middle ground. So we'll have to see how it plays off. Jim, it's always fun being with you. And by the way, I just want to say on a side note, I'm sort of sorry, but not really, that the Dodgers took the Rangers 2 straight.
Yeah, and they had a little hostility in the series as well.
I was going to bring that up, and I decided to let you do it. What was your thought? I thought your catcher, I don't know, I thought he was being a little hot, man. If you're going to stand right in front, you're going to get bowled over, and for him to take it personally, I think that was on him.
Well, possibly. I will say the throw kind of led Chirinos into that position. I don't think either player really had any option.
I don't think it was malicious.
Necessarily. No, and I don't really think there was necessarily anything wrong with the play one way or another. I mean, guy runs into somebody. Catchers aren't used to getting run into these days. He got a little mad. I don't really blame anybody. I think it was just kind of the way things played out, and it turned out to be a little bit of a confrontation, but nothing serious. They just got the rest of the game off.
I thought it was funny that you both, on both teams, were taking care of the opposite players. If you saw them real quick, I mean, usually that doesn't happen. They were all like, no, come on, man. It's okay. It's just baseball. You guys were both doing your job. I love that. Before I let you go, Adrian Beltre, still one of my favorite Dodgers of all time. I'm glad you guys are having a good time with him. Jim, it's a pleasure, as always, and I look forward to talking to you again real soon.